Boys and girls of every age, won't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. It's a town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream on the day and night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat to the neighbors die of fright. It's our town, everybody scream in this town of Halloween. I am the one hiding under your bed, teeth round sharp and eyes glowing red. I am the one hiding under your stairs, fingers like snakes and spiders in my hair. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. I could go any further, but, well, I think it would be a lot better if I had some music along with it. Well, as you can hear, folks, happy Halloween, everybody. And sadly, I told you that in my last review that would be the last of the Grim Scary Tales. Oh yeah, that's right, yesterday was Halloween. I forgot. Yeah. But hey, even though Halloween is over, I keep the spirit going. So, for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, for those of you who are wondering what I've been doing, well, there was a costume party going on over at Belterra Casino. I always visit there, but I hate gambling anyway. And for those of you who are wondering who I dressed up as, if any of you never seen my my post on Facebook, I was dressing up as the Creeper from the movies Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, I have the movie, and I had the costume as the Creeper. My aunt gave it to me. And in case those of you are wondering if I'm going to be reviewing this, one of these days I will. I'll come around to it and review Jeepers Creepers for you folks. But this is not what I'm going to review to you today. Anyway, I dressed up as the Creeper on Jeepers Creepers for the Halloween party at Belterra. And then my church friends decided to have a fall party. So I changed my costume, and I dressed up as the Doctor from Doctor Who. I have my own brand of clothing that I decided to wear. I mean, since I can dress up as the Doctor, I can be the Doctor in my own style. Instead of dressing up like Peter Capaldi or Tom Baker or Matt Smith or even David Tennant, I decided to dress up in my own fashion, in my own style. But this is not what I'm going to be telling you folks. I'm not going to review Jeepers Creepers or Doctor Who. Although I am thinking about reviewing Doctor Who one of these days. It's just I don't have any... I mean, I only have a few DVDs of the show, but that's it. I don't have the whole series. But, all that aside, let's review a horror movie that I always love watching every single time on Halloween. Now, this one was my favorite Halloween movie of all time. I mean, I couldn't believe that this movie is that good. And I'm still hoping they should make a sequel to it. The movie is called Trick or Treat. Just like I said on my last review, the first movie I'm going to review to you today, folks, is Trick or Treat. Well, what can you say about this movie, Trick or Treat? Actually, what can you say about the movie, A Trick or Treat? I mean, it's just oozing out all the Halloween stuff. It gets you into the certain Halloween mood. And it's an anthology movie. I mean, they're full of short stories, but they're all happening in one town. And one thing that's really interesting, even though this is an anthology, it doesn't go by the same horror movie rules like all the slasher movies go. No sex, no drugs, no alcohol, no saying I'll be right back. No. This one goes by the old tradition rules. Like
Always wear a costume. Always check your candy. Don't get too involved with somebody you hardly knew at the party. And also, don't do any Halloween pranks to somebody who is less fortunate, because that's just really mean. I hate pranks. I really do. And a good thing about this, and of course another rule, is always decorate your place with Halloween stuff during Halloween. And how the whole story go, well, let's get to it. The first story starts, there's a guy who's like a high school teacher. He's carving a jack-o'-lantern. But here's a shocker about him. He's a serial killer. He puts poison in the chocolate bars that he gives out to kids who don't deserve it. And of course, him and his son, they're killers, alright. And another story involves a group of teenagers who meets this little girl named Rhonda. And I discovered what they were doing. Rhonda, she's an idiot savant. You know, somebody who's very calculating and really smart, very special, kind of like autism. And they were planning to do a horrible trick on her, and also telling her the story, it really did happen. There was a bus full of kids who came from a psychiatric ward, kind of like an insane asylum. There were kids who, their parents were rich people, but they're very embarrassing of how they are. So every Halloween they dress up in their own costumes, and the bus driver they always make sure they get their candy for Halloween and they can go home. But this time the rich people paid the bus driver to do something special for them so they can be relieved. Try to kill the kids. But it turns out something was wrong. One of the kids was smart enough that they're going the wrong way, and he wanted to go home, but he wasn't smart enough to drive a bus. So he forwarded the bus towards a cliff and went into a lake. And all the kids in that bus drowned. Except the driver. He survived. And now, anybody who goes around in that time during Halloween, their spirits come out of the water and killing those who do pranks against those who are less fortunate. And Rhonda was smart enough to get out of there when they were coming. Because she always... Oh yeah, another rule, always keep your jack-o'-lantern lit. Because it wards off bad spirits. So she was smart enough to keep her jack-o'-lantern lit while all the other mean kids kept smashing their pumpkins and blowing out the candles. Whew, pretty scary. And then there's a group of really hot, attractive women I never seen before. They were all dressed up in really hot-looking costumes. And it pointed to 4 girls. One dressing up as Cinderella, the other one is Snow White, one is Little Bo Peep. Of course, if you ask me, the girl who dressed up as Little Bo Peep, she's a lot hotter than the rest of them. That's my opinion. And of course, you have this other girl who dressed up as Red Riding Hood. And of course, believe it or not, the actress who dressed up as Red Riding Hood in this movie is Anna Paquin. Paquin? P-A-Q-U-I-N. Some of you may know her. She played Rogue on X-Men, and also played Stooky Sackhouse on True Blood. She dressed up as Red Riding Hood. And they were kind of talking about inviting boys over to this party that the girls are having. Oh yeah, and here's a brief story. I mean, a little brief scene. There was a girl who kept kissing this guy who was wearing all black with a robe and a hood and a black mask. And as the girl kept kissing him, she starts to discover that he's biting her. And he has vampire fangs. And as she was kept screaming for everyone to help, there were other people with fake blood on their faces, so they thought it was one of the Halloween pranks. And sadly, the poor girl died from the masked vampire. I tell you this one to tell you the ones with the girls here. He starts stalking Anne, who dresses up as Red Riding Hood. And as he found her, he said, "My, what big eyes you have." But things became a little twisted. What goes around comes around. As it turns out, that masked vampire was the school teacher who kept killing kids. You know, the one who put poison on the chocolate bars from the beginning. He was going around killing teenage girls by biting them in the jugular with fake fangs that he had on his mouth. So it turns out that Anne, who dresses up as the Red Riding Hood, and all the other girls, they were all werewolves, and they were killing all the guys that they were inviting in their party. Wow, that was something. And they were playing that Marilyn Manson version of Sweet Dreams. The song was cool, but I saw the music video from it. Very disturbing. Never liked it. I think it's the colors from the music video. The song was cool, but the music video was... Because you all know about Marilyn Manson. I hardly listen to his songs, just some that are okay to me. Anyway, comes to another story. Another story in this movie. There's also a guy who is the Scrooge of Halloween. Since Christmas Carol has Scrooge, this movie, he has his own Scrooge, and he's played by that British actor Brian Cox. He hates Halloween, and he always scares off the kids who are out trick-or-treating. And his neighbor, who's the teacher, who's also the serial killer, when he says Happy Halloween to him, he says, "Up yours!" But of course, it's my way of saying it. He says it differently. And then all of a sudden he gets a visit from an icon character who kept popping out on every scene of every story in this movie. This creature. His name is Sam. Kind of like Sam Hain or Samhain from the old Halloween tradition. He's supposed to be the icon of Halloween. And in case you're wondering what he looks like under that mask, well, he's a human pumpkin. A pumpkin-like creature. And from inside this little box, if you want to know what he looks like under that mask, here. That's what he looks like, folks, under that mask. I don't know why Grandma said that he looks like a goblin. I never seen any goblins who looks like pumpkins. Not that I know of. And as he was about ready to kill that Halloween Scrooge guy, he accidentally gave him candy, so he leave him alone. So what he did, he covered himself up with bandages and giving toys to kids. But here's a shocker. You know all those kids who drowned that I told you about in this story? he was their bus driver. And they had their revenge. All in all, this movie is really dang good. And also, the DVD had a bonus. An animated short involving Sam here. I love this character, and I love this movie a lot. I'm just hoping they make Trick or Treat 2. Because out of all the characters from all the horror movies I've seen, I mean, Dracula, he's my favorite classic monster. But Sam here, I like him. They can keep their Michael Myers. You give me Sam. But would it be interesting if they do like a monster crossover? Michael Myers versus Sam? That would be cool. All in all, I love this movie. And I think you guys should look this movie up, and you'll see what I mean why I love this movie. It's really good. Even though it's rated R because there's some sexuality and brief nudity, so don't let your kids see this. Take it from me. But this is definitely a Halloween movie to enjoy. And believe it or not, they keep the even though they didn't make the sequel, they keep the anthology of this story from this movie going. They kept doing comic books. They made one comic book based from the movie, and now they made like a sequel comic with more short stories and more tales involving Trick or Treat. I wish I had some of those comics. I mean, compared to other comics I have, I like to have Trick or Treat as my in my possession. So, this is my review for today, folks. Check out Trick or Treat. Get scared. Whatnot. As for me, I'm going to be reviewing some more either horror movies I like, and maybe some, or maybe I'll, who knows, I might review some sci-fi stuff. This thing's still working. So if any of you if any of you like this video, please leave a comment down below, like, and subscribe to me for more videos. Or if any of you have seen this on Facebook, share it. Now, here's one thing I really hate it's been going on lately. Every time I go to a store when it's still Halloween, I always keep seeing Christmas stuff everywhere. Honestly, they gotta stop selling Christmas stuff so dang early. It bothers me a lot. Oh, and this will be the only time you ever see me shaved. Because sooner or later, I'm growing this back. Because I just don't feel complete without my facial hair. I mean, I know some of you are saying I look very young, but I want to look more like my age. And that's all I'm saying. And for those of you who wants to know what I'm going to be reviewing for Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to review Krampus. So stay tuned for Christmas. And I know what you're saying. And if you want to know why am I deciding to review this on Christmas, you better stay tuned for Christmas, and I'll tell you why. So, this is Multi-Voice Reviewer saying, trick or treat.